Y de regreso en el puerto tengo algunos asuntos pendientes. Otra vez. A ver, encontré el cuenco de Bromor. ¿Dónde está Bromor acá? Hablemos. Dame la llave primero. Y encontré el plato de Lucía. Que te robó Lucía.
Great! High time I got it back.
¿Y no quieres saber qué ha sido de Lucía?
Don't you want to know what became of Lucia?
No, why? I have got the dish back, haven't I? I have managed without Lucia so far, and I will in the future.
No va a volver, está muerta. ¿Y no me vas a dar una recompensa?
What about a reward?
You get to have a good time with one of my girls for free. What do you say, eh?
No. No es suficiente.
That's not enough.
Take it, or you needn't show your face around here again.
No me provoques. Ni hablar.
Forget it.
Then leave my establishment right now, you bastard. And don't even think that you'll ever get served here ever again, huh?
Ok. Antes de irme tengo cosas que hacer acá. Como por ejemplo meterme por esta puerta. Y después meterme por acá. Y robarte absolutamente todo lo que tengas. ¿No me quieres sonreír más, el idiota? No me sirva más. Tenés mujeres feas de todos modos. Todas pixeladas. Agachate. ¿Qué carajo estoy haciendo? Oh, Dios. Ahí. Me había olvidado cuál era el botón de agacharme. Hace tanto que no lo hago. Listo. Despacito. Sí, tiene bastantes cosas, broma, ¿eh? Bandeja de plata. Candelabro de plata. Cofre de joyas. Y hasta la escobita. Me la llevo. La puedo vender a buen precio. Soy muy respetado por los mercaderes. Mierda. Sí, señor. Bueno, suficiente. Para este de arriba creo que tiene una de las llaves de las torres. En las torres se están guardando armas que supuestamente son muy buenas. Quisiera saber si alguna de esas armas es mejor que mi arco o algo así. Banja.
I'm busy.
¿Dónde está el guardia que estaba acá? Se fue. Se acabó la diversión. Estuvo durante semanas acá hablando con ella, pero ahora ya no está más. ¿Alguno de ustedes es nuevo o algo? Halvor. Toma.
For all your stuff, I'll give you 400 gold pieces.
Lo tomo. Vendido.
All right, sold.
We've made some good deals today. Better not come back until tomorrow, or somebody might get suspicious. You see?
Entendido. Lars, a ver, ¿tenés algo más para mí?
Hey, you.
¿Alguna novedad?
Any news?
You could say so. The Paladins have arrested Bennett.
Ah, cierto.
So I've heard. That's a bad business.
You can say that again.
¿Alguna noticia de Bennett?
Any news of Bennett?
They seem to have taken him to the barracks and tossed him into the dungeon.
How can we get him out of there?
I don't have any ideas so far. I can't get to his cell to talk to him. All I can do is keep my ears open, but there isn't much to learn around here.
Creo que debería cambiarme la ropa, ¿no?
Good thing you're here. You need to help me.
¿Por qué? ¿Qué ropas son esas?
What kind of clothes are these?
I bought them from a trader outside of town. The guards wouldn't let me in at first. Also, there's no need to let the whole world know where I come from.
You've got a point there.
That's the way I see it. But even though I've dumped my shadow garb, I'm still who I always
Yo también tengo el
was,
conjunto ese.
and I have big plans for this city.
¿Cómo cuáles? ¿Y qué estás haciendo aquí?
What are you doing here?
I've been observing the guards. They're constantly on their toes. I don't think it will be easy for me to get through there.
¿De qué va esto?
What is this about?
A lot of things have changed since I left here. I have to get back on my feet somehow.
What's the problem?
I have to get into the upper quarter. But I'm not a citizen of the town, and I don't have enough money to bribe the guards. That's where you come in.
So you want me to lend you some gold?
Nonsense. I've got some gold. A whole lot of gold, even. Unfortunately, I don't...
Es el oro que dejaste en tu vieja cabaña en el Valle de las Minas, porque lo tengo acá mismo. ¿Y yo qué obtengo a cambio?
What's in it for me?
Have I ever asked you what you could give me in return? We're friends.
Después de lo que me hiciste pasar ahí atrás, idiota. Está bien, te ayudo.
Okay, I'll help you.
Well, listen. Back when the barrier was still
Sí.
in place, I hid a small
Ya lo
treasure.
encontré.
It's been quite a while. That's why I forgot to take it with me. And I can't leave here at all at the moment. To cut a long story short, you must go to the Valley of Mines for me and fetch
Menos
my
mal que me
gold.
puse a explorar. ¿Y dónde está escondido el oro?
Where's the gold hidden?
¿En tu vieja cabaña?
Directly at the trading square, above the abandoned mine. It's in a leather satchel. Spare yourself that comment. I know
no.
myself that we must
No,
have
no sé
walked
dónde lo
right
encontré.
past
Entonces,
it.
¿quién era esa bolsa?
Just bring me the bag.
Mira, la suya hacer
Don't
otra.
forget to check that it's the right one, so you don't walk all that way for nothing.
How can I recognize it?
It's full of gold. A whole lot of gold.
¿De dónde sacaste todo ese oro?
Where did you get all that gold?
El oro no servía de nada ahí
I'm the
adentro.
only one then who put some gold aside for himself in the Valley of Mines? Filching a few nuggets was a piece of cake, just in case we ever got out of there. Everybody was so keen on that ore that no one even cared for gold at the time.
No valía nada. Yo trataba de venderlo y nada, no me daban nada. ¿Qué vas a hacer con el oro?
What are you planning to do with the gold?
I still have an account to settle with one of the merchants in the upper quarter. I need to take care of that. And then I'll be all set for a new career.
Intentaré encontrar tu oro. Que ya lo encontré. Estoy bastante seguro.
Just do it. That's enough for me.
Te voy a robar, amigo querido. Y he encontrado tu oro.
I found your gold.
Great. Show me. Very good. Gerbrand had better watch out now. Listen, I still need to take care of the guards. I want you to take this letter to Gerbrand. He is one of the fat merchants in the upper quarter. Give him my regards. I'll meet you in front of Gerbrand's house then.
Lo que digas. Rupert. No, no tenés nada para decir. Bueno. Tengo una carta de Lucía para vos, el Bridge.
Thanks for saving me.
He encontrado una carta de Lucía.
I found a letter from your Lucia.
What? Give it here. No, I don't believe this. No, I just can't believe it.
La mataron
You
antes de que
just can't
llegara.
leave me behind like this. Take this letter back. I don't want it. I firmly
Se
believe
fue.
that
Yo pensé que
you
la habían
will
matado
come
porque decía
back to
carta de despedida. Ok. Está bien. Nada. A ver, ¿qué más tenemos? Creo que debería volver al gremio y sacarme esta ropa inmediatamente. Ponete la de mago de agua o lo que sea, no sé. Cualquier ropaje es mejor que este. Uy. Me quedé trabado. Pablo, ¿vos tenés alguna llave de las torres? No. Maldito seas, Pablo. Joe, hablemos. Tengo una nueva mezcla de tabaco.
I've got a new tobacco blend.
Tabaco de hierba.
Let me try your tobacco.
Dale. Te va a gustar. Artesanal. 100% natural.
I'm afraid this mixture does not agree with me. But maybe you'll find somebody else who really appreciates this delicacy.
Bueno, prueba el otro
I've
entonces.
got a new tobacco blend.
El de Miguel.
Let me try your tobacco.
Este está bueno.
This tastes incredible. I've never had a better smoke in my life. How did you prepare this blend?
Con miel.
I mixed the tobacco with honey.
You have done well, father of the art of blending. I would be delighted to fill my...
¿Querés comprarme miel? Tengo un montón.
Yes.
Fill her up then.
Thank you, son of generosity. No other blend could be as good as this one.
Solamente tenía uno.
I shall buy every bit you can bring me of this.
¿Me puedes hacer una profecía?
Can you make me a
Otra más,
prophecy?
pues me dijiste después de los capítulos.
Time has progressed,
Eh,
and I shall give you a prophecy in return for a few coins.
How much?
For a paltry
250 monedas.
coins, I shall risk a glance through time for you.
Dale, más vale que sea
Tell me
bueno.
about the future.
All right, son of knowledge. I shall now enter a state of trance. Are you ready?
Ready.
You shall force what is nobody's destiny but yours. Through fire and snow. Through ice and flames. Men in foreign armor. A swamp. Lizards. They await you. That's all. There's nothing more I can see.
Ok.
Hear ye, inhabitants of Corinus.
Bueno, voy a hablar con el tipo este que estaba a cargo, no me acuerdo cómo mierda se llama. A ver si me dejan liberar a mi amiguito. Todo se puede solucionar con el oro. Vamos a ver cuánto me van a pedir. Es una cuestión de cuánto lo querés. ¿Cuánto querés, Andrés? Estuve en el Valle de las Minas y vi a los dragones.
I was in the Valley of Mines and saw the dragons. I have a letter from Commander Garand that confirms everything I said.
That'll interest Lord Hagen. You had better go directly to him.
Con respecto al gremio de ladrones.
About the Thieves Guild.
You can forget the business. I have sent a few men down into the sewers. The Thieves Guild is now merely a sad chapter in the history of this city.
Ups. ¿Los mataron a todos? ¿Cómo están las cosas en la ciudad?
How's the situation in town?
Everything is under control.
Qué bien. ¿Qué hay de Bennett el herrero?
What about Bennett, the blacksmith?
You mean the mercenary? He is sitting in jail where he belongs.
Can I talk to him?
Certainly. Just go in. But if you try to help him escape, you will be in for it.
Ay, mierda. ¿Cómo mierda voy a hacer para librar al boludo ese?
You haven't come to get your buddy out of here, have you? Forget it. As soon as I raise the alarm, the boys will be here in an instant. And then, we'll have us some minced mercenary.
Yo no soy mercenario. ¿No ves mi armadura? Solo paseaba. Fernando, ¿todavía estás acá? ¿Eh? He estado en el Valle de las Minas.
I've been to the Valley of Mines.
Leave me alone.
¿Y cómo te ganas la vida?
How do you make a living now?
Leave me alone.
Ay, Fernando. Bennett, acércate, Bennett. Ay, la puta madre. Tengo que hablar con él, por eso abro esto, ¿eh? No te alarmes. ¿Qué pasa acá? A ver. ¿Qué vamos a hacer con vos, Bennett? ¿Cómo acabaste en la trena?
How come you're in the slammer?
Those swine have thrown me in the hole. I'm supposed to have murdered a paladin. But I didn't do it. They're only trying to frame me.
Why would they do that?
How would I know? You've got to get me out of here. Talk to
¿Cómo?
Lord Hagen. Tear down the wall. Who cares? Just do something.
¿Qué pasó?
What happened?
I went downtown with Hodges to buy some supplies for our boys. Suddenly, we heard a loud scream and the sound of running feet.
Get to the point.
We knew at once that something had happened and that they would grab us at once if they saw us there. We ran like hell, then just before we got to the city gate, I tripped and sprained my ankle. The rest is soon told. The militia was on me at once and they threw me straight into this hole.
¿A quién asesinaron?
Who was murdered?
I have no idea. One of the paladins. I don't know them.
Have you got a name?
Some Lothar, I think. Well, I don't know. I'm not really sure.
Lothar.
You had better ask Lord Hagen.
Ah, sí,
He
Lothar.
knows all the details.
¿Tienen alguna prueba contra ti?
Do they have any evidence against you?
They say they have a witness who recognized me.
Well, do you know who the witness is?
No, all I know is that he's lying.
Debe ser Cantar. ¿Quién lleva la investigación?
Who's leading the investigation?
Lord Hagen himself. Since the victim was one of the paladins, this falls under martial law.
What does that mean?
That's easy to guess. If I don't get out of here, they're gonna let me swing without further ado. You've got to help me or there'll be a war. Lee's not gonna take this lying down. You can figure out for yourself what that means.
Me imagino. Bueno. Tenemos una misión de investigación acá, entre manos. So, Germán.
Hey, you!
Diego envía saludos.
Diego says hello.
What? Who? What Diego?
And he wants me to give you this letter.
That can't be. No. I'm a goner. Is he in town then?
Who?
Diego, of course.
Yes, I'm gonna meet him here shortly.
Oh, this is the end then. All is lost. I've got no time. I need to get out of here. Quick. If he finds me here, I'm done for.
¿Alguna novedad?
Anything new?
What is that about? Are you trying to mock me? You and your buddy Diego have wreaked enough havoc already. Leave me alone.
Ok. ¿Estará ahí, Diego? Ahí viene. ¿Y que se van a pelear ahí enfrente de los paladines? No sean estúpidos. Ah, bueno.
Wait a minute.
He entregado la carta.
I delivered the letter.
Very good. How did Gerbrand take it?
But he was rather shocked and made himself scarce right away.
I should think so. I'm afraid that, first of all, I need to attend to furnishing my new house. If I remember correctly, Gerbrand's taste is horrible.
Entonces la casa es tuya.
The house is yours then?
Yes, from cellar to attic, with all the furnishings. Having spent several years in less than befitting quarters, I'm looking forward to sleeping in a soft four-poster bed. And then, for breakfast, I'll have a fine wine and some excellent ham.
You don't miss any chances, do you?
You betcha.
¿Y cómo lo has conseguido?
So how did you pull this off?
Did you think that Gerbrand came by his fortune through honest business? Of course, he never got his fingers dirty when it came to really shady deals. He had a helper for that. Of course, I caught on to a lot back then. Gerbrand finally got rid of me. He was probably afraid that I knew too much.
You never told me about that.
You never asked me.
Ah. ¿Y qué hay de Gerbrand?
What about Gerbrand?
He has enjoyed the good life for far too long. He was living here in the lap of luxury while I was forcing down meat bug stew. I have no idea where he went from here, but he'll never get a foothold in Corinthus again. I'll see to that. If you're looking for him, you should try the Harbor District.
¿Y qué hay de mi parte?
What about my share?
Looks like you haven't forgotten everything I've taught you after all. But you're right. I couldn't have done it without you. Here's your share.
Adiós. Bien, ¿y ahora qué? Ciudadano. A ver si alguien más tiene alguna misión para darme acá. Guambo. ¿A vos te robé? Dame la llave. Llave de torre, bien. Lutero.
My name is Duderino. I buy and sell all kinds of things.
¿Y qué es lo que
What
querés?
wares do you have to offer?
Well, especially rare and unusual things. So far, I've always managed to fulfill my customers' wishes.
¿Buscas algo en particular?
Are you looking for anything in particular?
Yes, for my current assignment, I need a
Tengo
claws
millones.
snapper, but not just any old claws. It would have to be something special. The claws of a
La de los chasqueadores con cuernos también tengo muchísimos.
Where can I find snappers?
There are a few of them on this island, but most of them live in the Valley of Mines.
Sí,
And what's in it for me?
I could get you a ring of invincibility.
creo que ya
I'll see
tengo.
what I can do.
Tengo unas garras especiales de chasqueador para ti.
I've got some special snapper claws for you.
My customer will be happy to hear that. Here's the ring I promised.
¿Será el mismo que está comprando los cuernos de bestia de las sombras? A ver qué vendes.
Show me your wares.
¿Con qué puedo mezclar este cosón? Nah, está bien. Bueno, creo que nadie más tiene nada de interesarme que ofrecer. Nada interesante por ofrecer. Salandri.
Welcome, traveler. Looking for a fine potion? I have a large selection and reasonable prices, and my potions are much better than
¿Qué va a vender el estúpido de Suri si está siempre encerrado en la casa? Ok, gracias por la llave. ¿Para qué sirve esa llave? ¿Hay alguien aquí? No. Para. ¿Cómo que no hace nada? Agarré una llave recién. Bueno, basta de pelotudeces. O una pelotudez más y me voy. Nada. Pueblerina. Podría comprar toda esta puta ciudad si quisiera. A ver, che. Ah, tengo que hablar con el juez. No sé por qué. ¿Quién me dijo que haga esta misión? ¿Dónde está el juez? Acá está el idiota. Hablemos. ¿Qué pasa?
How's it going?
You'd better scram, you filthy mercenary, before I call the guards.
Relax. I'm not here to steal from you. I'm looking for work.
Ah, so you want to work for me? That is, of course, a different matter. There is, alas, one minor problem. I don't know whether I can trust you. You'll have to prove your loyalty first.
¿Y qué querés? Ponme a prueba.
Put me to the test.
All right. Listen. Bring me the sacred hammer of the Magicians of Fire. They keep it somewhere in the basement of their monastery. If you pull that off, I might think about hiring you as a bodyguard.
¿Se supone que debo robar a los magos? De acuerdo.
All right.
Fine. But remember, if they catch you, I've never heard of you.
Listo. Un martillo sagrado marchando para el juez corrupto. ¿Dónde mierda quedaba el monasterio? Más. Vamos. Uff. ¿Pero tengo acceso al monasterio? No sé. Oh, ¿qué tenés para mí? Albrecht. Nada. Mataron a su superior. A Lothar. Deben estar tristes. Cornelius, ¿vas a hablar conmigo ahora? No, no quiere hablar conmigo. Estúpido Cornelius. Darius. ¿Qué pasa?
How's it going?
What business is it of yours? As long as the paladins are in the city, Lord Hagen takes care of all the affairs that concern the city.
Bueno. Sigue tan idiota como siempre, Darius. Vamos a hablar con el que importa. Con vos. Cornelius mintió.
Cornelius lied.
How did you know that?
Here, I've got his diary. Everything's in there.
That slimy little criminal! In view of the new evidence, there is nothing else I can do. By virtue of the office granted me by king and church, I declare that the prisoner Bennett is exonerated of all
¿Cómo se
charges
solucionó
and
eso?
is thereby a free man. Cornelius
Porque le robé un cuaderno al tipo ese Cornelius. ¿Sí? La habilidad de pickpocketing es muy útil. Te traigo noticias de Garon.
I bring you news from Garand. Here, he gave me this message for you.
Our situation is worse than I had feared, but report to me on the situation in the Valley of Mines.
The Paladins are holed up in the castle in the Valley of Mines, surrounded by orcs. There were many casualties in the prospecting operations, and there's barely any ore left. Well, I should say that without any help, the lads are lost. That's how it looks.
I shall find a way to rescue this expedition. You have done much for us. Inos will thank you.
I'm not all that interested in his gratitude. I want his eye.
Yes, of course, I stand by my word. Take this letter. It will open the monastery.
Una carta.
Speak with Pyrokar, the highest fire magician, and show him this authorization. He will grant you access to the Eye of Inos. One more thing before you go. Take this rune as a token of my gratitude. It will take you safely back to the city whenever you want.
Perfecto. ¿Cómo va todo?
How's the situation?
I must find a way to rescue this expedition. We must do something against the dragons. Perhaps the Eye of Inos can save us all now.
Sí, puede ser. Bueno, me voy a buscar el ojo de Inos. Claro, todo es como que va guiado para que vaya ahí. Investigo el monasterio, robo el martillo y de paso también agarro el ojo de Inos. 2 pájaros de un tiro. Quizás lo hago en este capítulo. Si vuelo suficientemente rápido. Pero no tengo una piedra de teletransporte para llegar al monasterio, eso es un problema. Pero vamos a buscar a Bennett, a decirle que es libre. Claro, esa misión se solucionó sola porque yo estuve robándole las carteras a absolutamente todo lo con lo que le hablaba. Cornelio fue uno de ellos. Tenía un cuaderno de él que no me molesté en leerlo, pero supongo que tenía datos incriminantes que probaban la inocencia de Bennett. Y eso está muy bien. A veces haciendo el mal, uno hace el bien. Vos, libera a Bennett, idiota. He venido... no. ¿Cómo mierda liberó a Bennett? ¿Ya lo liberaron?
Hey, you're the guy who filed a complaint against Canthar, the merchant. Lots of
Sí.
people came here to vouch for him. Well-respected people. The matter must have been a misunderstanding. Yeah, these things happen. In future, you should be more careful about who you send to jail.
Me importa un carajo. Rápido. Ratitas. O lobos, qué sé yo. ¿Qué haces? Esa experiencia era mía. Ahora te arranco todo.
Nothing to be had there.
Sí. Acá están mis amigos. Au. Bien. ¿Debería ir con la ropa de mercenario ahí adentro? Igualmente creo que se dan cuenta igual, por más que vaya con ropa o sin ropa. Prende allá. Fue. Tómate una poción también. Mierda, están las pociones. Aquí te parió juego. Tengo el inventario demasiado lleno de porquería. Estaban arriba. Listo. Vos, dame guía espiritual, algo. Híjalo. Nah, no puedes darme nada. Sí. ¿Se atreven? ¡Uy! Sobreviviste a más de un golpe. Imposible. Ya debería one-shotearlos a ustedes sin ninguna dificultad. ¿Qué pasa acá? Vos no sos un mago negro. ¿Quién carajo sos?
Hey,
Jorgen.
Hey, you. Ever been to the monastery?
Maybe. Why?
Are they still taking on people? I wouldn't know where else to turn.
¿Querés hacerte iniciado? Dame tu bolsa. ¿De dónde vienes?
Where do you come from?
I used to be captain of a big whaler, my boy. The sea is my home.
Y ahora querés ser novicio.
The good old Magdalena was sunk by pirates a few months ago, and now I'm stranded here. All I ever wanted was to go back to sea. Since I've come here, not one schooner is called at this accursed port. The only ship which is anchored in Corinthus is that blasted war galley of the king, and they don't take on anyone. So what else can I do? There's no work for me in town. I've tried everything.
Sería mejor que te salieras de la carretera. Ahora. ¿O sí? ¿No? ¿Qué sé yo?
You'd better get off the road.
Don't worry. I've already noticed that the wilderness out here has become damn dangerous in the last couple of days.
Pensé que me iba a atacar o algo si le decía eso. ¿Qué sé yo? Vamos. Ahora me traigo una cartita del Lord Hagen. Milton. ¿Qué querés, Milton? Tengo que entrar en el monasterio. Es urgente. Tengo la lengua medio trabada hoy.
I can't let you into the monastery. I'll get in trouble with the High Council. Without the permission of my superiors, I can't let anyone into the monastery.
No. Tengo una carta de Lord Hagen.
I've got a letter from Lord Hagen.
Show me. All right. Here's the key to the monastery. Pyrocar is in the church.
¿Cómo llegaste tan rápido hasta el monasterio?
How did you get to the monastery so fast?
What kind of a question is that? I crept through the pass and made my way straight to the monastery.
Una semana por lo menos de que lo
It was
vimos.
never easy avoiding all the monsters making themselves at home on this side of the valley, but ultimately I encountered fewer problems than I expected.
Bien por vos. ¿No sabes dónde están los demás?
Do you know where the others are?
Gorn seems to have coped with his stay in Garan's dungeon very well. In any case, he wanted to go to Lee and see what was happening on the farm. After the grub they serve in the dungeon, he's probably stuffing his face right now and putting the mercenaries' provisions to a real test. Diego mumbled something about a reckoning. No idea what he meant by that. But I suspect he's in the city. You know him. Always there when there's something to be had.
Sí. Dinero fácil. ¿Sabes algo de las figuras encapuchadas?
Do you know anything about the hooded figures?
No, but I have a bad feeling about those guys.
Sí, a mí
Be careful
también.
if you run into them.
Ok. ¿Sabes algo del martillo sagrado? Hablemos con todo el mundo, Ópolos. Háblame, Ópolos. ¿Cómo están las ovejas? Primero lo primero. ¿Cómo están las ovejas?
How are the sheep?
How do you think they are? They stand around and munch grass.
¿Qué acento es
I'd rather
ese?
know what's happening outside. The magicians seem to be very
Acento gangoso. Hay extranjeros con túnicas negras rondando por la zona.
Strangers in black robes roam the countryside.
What do you mean? What sort of strangers?
Nobody knows where they've come from. They wear long black robes
Son del
and they cover
infierno.
their faces. They seem to be some kind of magician. At least they're capable of magic.
That sounds very disturbing, but I'm sure that the High Council will solve this problem.
Sí, seguro. Hay dragones en el Valle de las Minas.
There are dragons in the Valley of Mines. They are besieging the royal troops together with the army of orcs.
Dragons? I always thought they only existed in horror stories.
Vos sos medio lento,
They're
¿no?
there, believe me.
But the King's Paladins will deal with them, won't they?
We'll see.
Ya veremos. Ahora con este me da experiencia. ¿Por qué? Che, ustedes están muy cerquita.
What can I do for you?
Muy cerquita. ¿Tienes algo interesante para mí?
Have you got anything interesting for me?
No.
Ok. Qué simpático. Marduk.
Do you really think?
¿A qué te dedicas?
What's your job here?
I prepare the paladins for their fight against evil.
¿Qué es el mal?
What is evil?
Evil is everywhere. It is the power of Beliar, the eternal adversary of Innos. It is the all-encompassing blackness which seems to blot out the light of Innos forever. Beliar is the Lord of Darkness, of hate.
Es el equivalente de Lucifer en este juego, en este mundo.
Innos will bear the radiant light of Innos into the world and banish the darkness.
Pero en el monasterio solo viven magos y novicios.
But there are only magicians and novices living in the monastery.
That is correct, in contrast to our community which honors the word of Innos. The paladins honor the great deeds of our Lord above all else. We are the representatives of Innos, but the paladins are his warriors, who go into battle in his name and increase his glory.
¿Alguna novedad?
Any news?
The enemy has apparently already entered the city.
What do you mean?
One of the paladins, Lothar, was murdered in the street. In broad daylight.
Sí, fue Cornelius.
Far, but I fear that is only the beginning.
Bennett es inocente.
Bennett is innocent. The witness lied.
How do you know that?
I have found proof.
Sometimes I think that treason and greed are our greatest enemies.
¿Y ahora qué va a pasar?
What's going to happen now?
A murder, moreover, of a paladin is without doubt one of the worst crimes there is. The murderer will undoubtedly be sentenced to death.
¿Puedo entrar acá? Voy a charlar.
What do you want here? Go.
Me voy.
Just say that wasn't so hard.
¿Quién va? Nadie. Acá duermen. ¿Cómo que no puedo abrir la puta biblioteca? Que no es pública. Más habitaciones, muchos cofres para robarlo, voy a hacer después. ¿Quién tiene el martillo? El martillo sagrado de Innos. Lo necesito. Uy. ¿Con quién mierda me dijeron que tenía que hablar? No, por suerte el lugar no es muy grande. Con Parlan. Vamos a hablar de Parlan. Parlemos. Demasiado tarde. Estoy haciendo preguntas estúpidas por todas partes. Claro. Sí. ¿Dónde está el sótano?
The entrance to the cellars lies halfway along the colonnade on the right.
La capilla.
The chapel.
The chapel is the room halfway along the left colonnade. That's where the paladins pray to Innos.
¿Qué es una columnata? La biblioteca. Ya sé dónde está la biblioteca.
The library is at the end of the colonnade to the left.
Ah, eso es una columnata, está bien. La iglesia.
The church.
Lord Almighty. Has Innos stricken you blind? Where is the church? Oh my, where could it possibly be?
¿Te estás burlando de mí, mortal? Ok. Malas hierbas, me lo quedo. Puedo hacer cigarritos. Bueno. ¿Qué haces aquí?
What are you planting here?
We're trying to grow healing plants that Master Neoras can use to brew potions.
Yo soy experto en eso. ¿Qué tal van las cosas?
So, how's it going?
You are only a guest here in the monastery of Innos, and therefore you should act accordingly and not disturb me while I am working. Good day.
Buenas noches, querrás decir, ¿no? Diría. ¿Qué tal todo?
How's it going?
I thank Innos that I can be here in the monastery.
¿Por qué? Te lo parece aburrido.
Hey, you.
Tienen poquito oro ustedes. Ok, ¿dónde está el sótano? El sótano. Gorax. No te enojes. Dame algo de comer. Dame tu llave. Llave. ¿A qué te dedicas?
What's your task here?
My tasks are many and varied. Not only am I the steward, but I am also the treasurer.
¿Qué mierda están preparando ahí?
Moreover, I supervise the wine cellar, and I'm in control of the monastery's food supplies.
Y tenés la voz de sardas.
If there's anything you need, you can always come to me and get it. For a modest contribution, that is.
Ajá. Necesito cosas.
I need a few things.
Nah, necesito un carajo. Novicio, novicio, vinitos. ¿Qué puedo abrir con esa llave que tenías ahí, Golax? Necesito saberlo. Ok, cofres. Supongo que esto es el sótano. Vamos, necesito información. ¿Qué estás haciendo?
What are you doing here?
I must not speak with you. It's not looked on with favor if we talk to strangers.
Eso no suena muy alegre.
That doesn't sound terribly happy.
Well, I mean, everything is just fine, really. Only, I don't want to complain.
Venga, vamos, puedes decírmelo.
Oh, come on, you can tell me.
And you really won't tell the magicians?
Do I look like I would?
Palabra de mercenario.
I have a problem with one of the novices. He's got a hold over me.
Come on, spit it out then.
Igaraz, that's the novice, found some of my private papers. He threatened to give them to the magicians if I don't do what he says.
La puerta abierta. ¿Y qué documentos son esos?
What kind of documents are those?
That's nobody's business. It's entirely my affair.
Come on, tell me.
They are entirely normal documents. Nothing special.
I won't ask any further.
¿Qué se supone que tiene que hacer con él? Por él.
What are you supposed to do for him?
I don't want to talk about it. In any case, it isn't pleasing to Innos. I don't want to think what would happen if it came out.
¿Pero qué pasa? ¿Que sos maricón? Me parece que es demasiado personal. Quizá pueda ayudarte, dale.
Maybe I can help you.
You would do that?
Well, that depends, of course.
Naturally, I'd pay you for that.
How much?
Of course, I don't have much money, but I could give you a spell scroll. I have a healing spell.
Sí, está bien. Veré lo que puedo hacer.
I'll see what I can do.
Honestly, it just has to work. It has to. So, you only need to find out where Igaraz keeps the stuff. Then you swipe it from him, and everything will be just fine.
Relax. You just continue for now. I'll see to the rest.
Sí. ¿Estás satisfecho con tus tareas?
Are you satisfied with your task?
It's all right, but I need to get back to work. Otherwise, I'll never get finished today.
Estás barriendo nada
I don't
más.
want
La
to work half the
columnata.
night again in order to finish my obligation and stay out of trouble.
Ay, vamos. Espera. ¿Quién se metió ahí? Era Ignacio ese. ¡Abrí!
I'll never get this
No,
just right.
¿a qué carajo servía la llave del otro pelotudo? Muchos cofres. A ver, Ignas. ¿Quién es Ignas? Estaba por acá. Se habrá ido a dormir. Es muy imbécil. ¿Dónde duerme? Deja de extorsionar a ese pobre tipo. Mira acá vos. Para. Ignas. Tenemos que hablar de Babo.
We need to talk about Babo.
Yes, what's wrong?
Tienes algo que pertenece a Babo.
You've got something which belongs to Babo.
What might that be?
A few papers. Babo would like them back.
He would, wouldn't he? I can imagine. Unfortunately, I prefer to keep them, which brings us to a bit of a dilemma.
Ese cofre de ahí es el tuyo. Ok. Voy a esperar a que te duermas y te lo robo. Voy a hablar con el jefe, ya que estoy. Que eso es la misión principal después de todo, que es el asunto que me tiene acá. Serpentes. Dame tu bolsa. ¿Quieres contarme algo más?
Is there anything else you want to tell me?
Dismissed. You know what you have to do.
¿Alguna vez hablamos, serpentes? Pues no te recuerdo de nada. De hecho, nunca estuve acá, en la vida. Ultar. ¿Alguna novedad?
Any news?
No. Nothing which you do not already know, brother.
No soy tu hermano. Pero caro. Háblame. Casi imposible, ¿eh? Nada es imposible para mí. Algunos ciudadanos de Corinis han desaparecido misteriosamente.
Some citizens of Corinus have mysteriously disappeared.
Take your tribute to Gorax at the monastery at once. He will handle it further.
The same is true for the investigation of the unusual earthquakes in the
¿Cuántos seres hay adentro de tu cuerpo?
So far, I have not received notice that our
¿Por qué tienes tantas voces?
Therefore, we are not going to take any steps in this matter.
No se van a quedar acá sentaditos en sus tronos.
We shall proceed as we see fit, and I hope even you are going to respect that.
No me gusta la manera que dijiste tú. Cúrame la posesión.
I think I'm possessed. Can you heal
Estoy
me?
poseído.
Not without a token of your respect
Ah,
for this monastery,
bueno.
my son.
Ah,
300
bueno.
gold.
Sos un hijo de puta. Estoy poseído. Estupendo, dale.
Great. Here's the money.
Here,
¿Desde cuándo estoy poseído?
may the mercy of Enos be your salvation.
Entonces será por eso que no puedo dormir. Vengo del viejo Valle de las Minas.
I've come from the old Valley of Mines.
What do you have to report?
The enemy has formed up there with an army
Tengo algo que
of orcs and
reportarte a vos. No respondo ante vos.
That from Milton. But what about the king's shipment of ore?
The mine they are digging for Garand in the valley cannot satisfy the demands of the king.
The days are becoming grayer, and the light of the sun is ever weaker.
I was attacked by men in black robes.
I know. Those are the Seekers, henchmen from the nether realms of Beliar. Beware of them.
Estoy matando a casi todos los que están por este mapa.
Once possessed, you will no longer be yourself. Only here in the monastery could you find help then, so be careful. Here, this rune will bring you directly back to the monastery if you need our help. Remember, we must offer resistance or we shall all be doomed.
He venido a llevarme el ojo de Dinos.
I have come to take the Eye of Inos.
I see that you have received an authorization from Lord Hagen himself to bear the Eye of Enos. I am afraid that I have to disappoint you. We have fallen victim to a treacherous plot of the enemy.
Oh.
The Eye of Enos has been violently taken from these sacred walls.
¿Quién?
Who did this?
Evil is cunning and usually works in secret. Only rarely do you see it emerge to pursue its evil machinations in broad daylight. But these days, it's a different matter. The enemy now shows himself openly in the
Se lo llevaron los maguitos negros, ¿no? Y no hicieron un carajo para detenerlo. Se quedaron sentaditos ahí.
No longer fears any adversary and is not going to shrink back from anything. One of our most faithful followers, a candidate for the high robe of the Magicians of Fire, has changed his allegiance unexpectedly, and in an alarmingly evil manner. Pedro, the
Maldito sea Pedro.
him, thus inflicting a terrible defeat upon us. Pedro has forced his way into our most sacred halls and stolen the eye.
Pedro va a pagar por eso.
I fear that he simply spent too much time by himself, outside of the gates, and thus beyond the protective walls of the monastery, exposed to all lurking dangers.
¿A dónde ha huido el ladrón?
Where did the thief flee to?
Pedro knocked down some of the other novices who tried to stop him and disappeared into the morning mist. Many novices have gone after him to bring the eye back to its place unharmed. If you want to catch up with him, you need to hurry before Pedro disappears out of your reach.
No hay problema.
One more little thing. Stay away from the roadside shrines. We have heard that some of them have been desecrated. No one can say what effect they have now.
Creo que eso es lo que me dejó poseído.
Task to solve this problem.
Estaba donando oro para subir la fuerza y...
Not so fast. I have another task.
Oh.
A mercenary for hire of your kind could be of use to
De
us.
mi calaña. ¿A quién debo matar?
Whom should I kill?
For Enos' sake, no one, of course. This business demands a bit more finesse, you lout. Salandrill, the alchemist from the upper end of town, is guilty of a serious crime. and must be punished for it. However, he has refused to come to the monastery to be judged. Bring him here. How you accomplish this does not matter to us.
Tengo que traerlo desde ahí, desde la ciudad hasta acá. No es asunto de la milicia.
Isn't that the militia's business?
The militia is responsible for the city alone. This affair has far-reaching consequences.
Ay, Dios, no hay problema.
No problem. I'll take care of it.
Good. We expect to hear from you in a few days.
In a few days, nah. ¿Quieres contarme algo más?
Is there anything else you want to tell me?
Dismissed. You know what you have to do.
Sí, maestro. Bueno, así que tengo que perseguir a Pedro por todas partes. Vamos a perseguir... ¡Uy, imbécil! Milton.
Hey.
¿Sabes dónde está Pedro?
Do you know where Pedro is?
Do you think I'd be standing around here if I knew where the renegade was hiding? He must pay for his deeds. I hope we manage to get the eye back. You have to help us. Find him and bring back the Eye of Innos.
Son todos inútiles menos yo. A ver, capaz el que está acá lo veo. Por algo tenés que estar parado acá, por alguna razón. Al menos decime que viste algo, Jorgen. ¿Has visto pasar un novicio?
Have you seen a novice walk past?
Yeah, sure.
¿Qué fue eso?
Ah,
me está señalando, ¿no? Gracias por la ayuda. ¿Dónde dijiste? Por acá el agua. Ok, vamos. ¡Uy, la piedra! Estoy vivo. Vamos. Se ve una mierda, pero no hay tiempo que perder. Pedro es muy veloz, muy astuto y cuenta con la ayuda de las fuerzas del mal. No podemos demorar ni un segundo, no lo puedo dejar para el próximo capítulo. Tiene que morir ahora, tiene que pagar por su traición a esos vagos de mierda del magos de fuego. Mierda que tuve que nadar bastante para llegar hasta acá. ¿Y vos quién sos?
What's going on here?
What do you mean?
You're the second fellow to rush past here like he's been stung by blood flies.
¿Quién era el otro?
Who was the other guy?
He looked like one of those brainy novices from the monastery back there. You can say what you like, but somehow those guys aren't quite right.
Estoy de acuerdo con vos. ¿A dónde fue el otro?
Where did the other one go?
He ran up that way like lightning.
Me tengo que ir.
I need to get going.
Hey, no problem.
Bandolero. ¿Qué haces acá?
What's your business here?
You ask a damn lot of questions for such a young whippersnapper. Name the goblin cave we crawled through together, and I'll tell you my secrets. Otherwise, mind your own business.
Eureka.
¡Oh! Y me quedo con tus cosas. ¿Cómo se te ocurre hablarme así, basura? Ok, vamos a suponer que se fue por acá. Seguramente hay alguno de esos mierdas de las sombras. No veo ninguno. Sí, ahí hay uno. Dale, sin piedad. Listo. ¿Qué pasó con Pedro? ¿Salió con ustedes? ¿Dónde está Pedro? Tengo que hablar con él, es urgente. El mundo depende de Pedro. Pero él no lo sabe. Ay, Dios. Vamos, carajo, tengo que llegar rápido. ¿Qué dice ahí? ¿Te caíste o algo? ¿De dónde mierda saliste? Nota. ¿Cómo que te llamabas Nota? No se pudo el nombre. Y decía cualquier cosa. Bueno, vamos por buen camino. Entonces, si hay un novicio muerto, significa que Pedro estuvo aquí. Y va a ser grafitis que diga Pedro estuvo aquí. Por todas partes, con la sangre de otros novicios. Otro novicio muerto. El rastro de novicios muertos. Me dice que Pedro está aquí. Lo puedo sentir, está cerca su presencia demoníaca, su presencia maligna. Maldito seas, Pedro. Sos el enemigo final de todo esto. Cuando te mate a vos, esta locura se va a terminar. ¿Acaso sos el avatar de Belial o algo así? Sigamos. Veo un mito ahí. ¿Será Pedro? Vas a morir. No tiene ropa de novicio. Grimble.
Hey, you.
¿Has visto pasar por aquí a un novicio?
Have you seen a novice pass by here?
A lot of peculiar figures passed by here today, including those two jokers up by the stone arch. A while ago, a novice from the Magicians of Fire was with them as well.
El arco de piedra. ¿Cuál arco de piedra? ¿El de acá? No, este no es. El arco de piedra es el que está de este lado. Bandidos. Bandoleros. Llámate a uno de los suyos. Ah, no lo maté, lo dejé inconsciente nada más. Bueno, le voy a perdonar la vida. Capaz vuelvo por ahí y lo mato. Pero por ahora no puedo, tengo prisa. El ojo de iros, el mundo, Pedro. Todo depende de mí. Arrepentite de tus pecados, Pedro. Vengo a acabar con el dolor. ¿Dónde mierda está? No veo un carajo. Por acá no es. Por acá. Ortiga de fuego, dámela. Pasa acá. Pedro. Tenés nuevos amigos, ¿eh? Están ahí haciendo cosas locas. Dos menos. Y quedan unos cuantos más, creo. ¿Dónde estás? Uy, ahí vienen. ¿A dónde van? ¿A dónde mierda van? Psst. ¿Qué carajo están haciendo? ¿Se bugueó esto? ¿Pueden dejar de moverse que no les puedo dar? ¡Wow! Mueran. Ok, ¿dónde están los cuerpos? Quiero ver cuerpos. ¿Quién de ustedes tiene los jodinos? Dos. ¿Y Pedro? ¿O lo transformaron por completo a Pedro? Ya no queda nada de él. Pedro, ¿sos vos? No. Maldito sea Pedro. ¿Qué carajo? Bim, 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 ¿eh? El ojo de Dinos, acá está. En medio del altar, claro. Como no se me ocurrió antes. Es un ritual satánico. ¿Dónde pondrían las cosas estos estúpidos? En medio del puto altar, claramente. No los veo muy bien. Con esta ropa negra de mierda de la noche es un poco complicado verlos. Tuve que haber esperado, tuve que haberme ido a dormir o algo, pero bueno, ya está. Lo hecho está. Bueno, ahora me vuelvo al monasterio. Podría teletransportarme. Quiero ver si queda algún cuerpo más acá. Y no encontré a Pedro. Por ninguna parte. Puedes correr pero no esconderte, Pedro. A ver. Mierda, está en transportarme al puerto, a la torre, al paso, a la granja, al monasterio. Ahí, esa, dale. Llegamos. Tengo buenas noticias y malas noticias. La buena noticia es que recuperé los jodinos. La mala noticia es que Pedro escapó. He encontrado los jodinos.
I have found the Eye of Innos. It's broken.
What? That cannot be. What happened?
No sé.
Some really nasty customers had it. Anyway, I came too late.
Y no
They
encontré
were
a Pedro.
performing a strange incantation on a crescent-shaped ritual site up in those woods.
Innos be with us. They have desecrated our circle of the sun. Even in my worst nightmares, I could never have imagined they would possess this
¿Qué
kind
te
of
puedo
power.
decir? ¿Y ahora qué hacemos?
What can we do now?
The enemy has become very strong. Still, this ancient artifact meant a powerful threat to him. We must heal the eye and restore its old power. But time works against us. I cannot begin to imagine what is now going to become of us all. Without the protection of the eye, we are helplessly at the mercy of the enemy. Go to Vatras, the water mage in town. In this terrible situation, only he will know what is to be done. Take the eye to him, and hurry!
¿Qué es el círculo del sol?
What is the Circle of the Sun?
Every year, all the magicians and novices of the monastery travel to this place at the time of the solstice to mark the beginning of a new cycle. The place is filled with the immeasurable power of the sun.
Qué bien.
Never have I entertained the slightest notion that its power could be reversed. And yet, that is what happened.
Bueno, me tengo que ir. Otra vez a teletransportarme. Torre de Sardas, Puerto de Corinis, Paso de Corinis. Sí, teletransportame a quedar. 3, 4. Va atrás, es urgente, necesitamos tu ayuda ahora mismo, viejo. Deja de rezar. Esa estatua.
Hey, you!
Tengo un problema con el ojo de Innos.
I've got a problem with the Eye of Innos. I could use your help.
And will your problem require me to leave town?
Sí.
I don't know. Possibly.
I've been waiting to be relieved for days. The other water mages should have been back in Corinus some time ago. If you see to it that at least one of them comes to take over my duties in town, I shall be free to help you solve.
Oh, pero los otros están del otro lado del portal. Tengo una sensación trepidante.
I've got this feeling of trepidation.
You don't look well either. You were subjected to the black look of the Seekers for too long. All I can heal is your body, but only the monastery can purify your soul. Speak to Pyrocar. He will help you.
Ok, adiós.